Hello everyone, we are the Group 4 and we are about to discuss the cultural challenge, the role of culture in international business and various elements of culture. First, what is culture? Culture represents the specific learned norms of a society based on attitudes, values, and beliefs. Major problems of cultural collision may occur because a firm implements practices that do not reflect local customs and values and or its employees are unable to accept or adjust to foreign behaviors. Also, culture reflects learned behavior that is transmitted from one member to another in a society. So, what are the characteristics of culture? They said that culture is the set of values, attitudes, beliefs, behaviors, and customs that distinguish a society. They also said that a society's culture prescribes the rules which determine how companies operate in that society. So, why culture as learned behavior is adaptive? The first reason is that culture changes in response to external forces that affect society. Next reason is that urban societies around the world have enormous similarities due to the impact of multinational corporations, technology, and tourism. And lastly, culture is shared by members of society and defines the membership of a society. So along with the culture are the norms. So norms are society's rules or guidelines specifying the appropriate behavior in given situations. All cultures and societies have norms that can be very different to other norms.
Social structure may be seen to influence important social systems including the economic system, legal system, political system, cultural system, family, religion, law, economy, and class are all social structures. Religion and ethical system. Religion, a system of shared beliefs and rituals. Ethical system, a set of moral principles or values that are used to guide and shape behavior. Most of the world's ethical systems are the product of religions. Among the thousands of religions in the world today, 4 dominate in terms of numbers of adherents: Christianity with 1.7 billion adherents, Islam with 1 billion adherents, Hinduism with 750 million adherents, and Buddhism with 350 million adherents.
Language is one of the defining characteristics of letter E. Spoken language. Language-based cultures or stratas. Learning local language has considerable advantage.
Unspoken language include body language. Educations. Formal education plays a key role in a society. It is the medium through which individuals learn many of the language, conceptual, and mathematical skills that are indispensable in a modern society. Also supplements the family's role in socializing the young into the values and norms of a society. Example, respect for others, obedience to authority, honesty, neatness, being on time. School teach basic facts about the social and political nature of a society as well as focusing on the fundamental obligations of citizenship.
Strategies for dealing with cultural differences. Once a company identifies cultural differences in the foreign countries in which it operates, must it alter its customary practices? Letter A. Making little or no adjustment. Some countries are relatively similar to one another because they share the same language, religion, geographical location, ethnicity, and or level of economic development. If products and operations do not run counter to deep-seated attitudes, or if the host country is willing to accept foreign customs as a trade-off for other advantages. Significant adjustments may not be required. Generally, a company should expect to have to consider fewer adjustments when moving within a culturally similar cluster than when it moves from one distinct cultural cluster to another. Letter B. Communication. Problems in communication may arise when moving from one country to another, even though both countries share the same official language, as well as when moving from one language to another. We have two kinds of communication. Letter A. Spoken and written language. Translating one language into another can be very difficult because some words do translate directly. The common meaning of words is constantly evolving. A slight misuse of vocabulary or words placement may change meanings substantially. Poor translations may have tragic consequences. Letter B. Silent language incorporates the wide variety of nonverbal cues through which messages are sent intentionally or unintentionally. Color association. The distance between people during conversation. The perception of time and punctuality. A person's perceived status and kinesis, body language are all significant. Misunderstandings in any of these areas can have a very negative impact.
And the next one is culture shock. Culture shock represents the trauma one experiences in a new and different culture because of having to learn to cope with a vast array of new cues and expectations. Reverse culture shock occurs when people return home, having accepted the culture encountered abroad and discovering that things at home have changed during their absence. Company and management orientation. Whether and to what extent a firm and its managers adapt to foreign cultures depends not only on the conditions within those cultures but also on the policies of the company and the attitude of its managers.
Number 1. Polycentrism represent a managerial approach in which foreign operations are granted a significant degree of autonomy in order to be responsive to the uniqueness of local cultures and other conditions. Number 2. Ethnocentrism represent a belief that one's own culture is superior to others and that what works at home should work abroad. Excessive ethnocentrism may lead to costly business failures. Number 3. Geocentrism represent a managerial approach in which foreign operations are based on informed knowledge of both home and house country needs, capabilities, and constraints.
Strategies for instituting change. Companies may need to transfer new products and or operating methods from one country to another in order to gain or maintain a competitive advantage. To maximize the potential benefits of their foreign presence, firms need to treat learning as two-way process and transfer knowledge from host countries back home as well as from home to host countries.
Number 1. Value system. The more change upsets important values, the more resistance it will encounter. Accumulation is much more likely when changes do not interfere with deep-seated customs. Number 2. Cost-benefit of change. Some adjustments to foreign cultures are costly to undertake, but their benefits are only marginal. The expected cost-benefits of any change must be carefully considered. Number 3. Resistance to too much change. Resistance to change may be reduced if only a few demands are made at one time. Additional changes may be phased incrementally. Number 4. Participation. A proposed change should be discussed with stakeholders in advance in order to spare fears of adverse consequences and hopefully gain their support.
reward sharing. A company may choose to provide benefits for all the stakeholders affected by a proposed change in order to gain support for it. Number 6. Opinion leaders. Characteristics of opinion leaders often vary by country, discovering the local channels of influence. An international firm may seek the support of opinion leaders to help speed the acceptance of change. Number 7. Timing. Many good business changes fail because they are old-time attitudes and change slowly, but the thesis may stimulate the acceptance of change. And last, number 8. Learning abroad. The essence for undertaking transnational practices is to capitalize on diverse capabilities by transferring learning among all the countries in which a firm operates.
Ethical dilemmas and social responsibility. Neither international firms nor their employees are always expected to adhere to a host government's behavioral norms. Some firms choose not to operate in locales where objectionable social and political practices are the norm. Others may operate in such places while pressuring the host country to change. Still, others may rationalize or simply tolerate the status quo. A difficult question concerns international business practices that may undermine a host country's long-term cultural identity. The Social for Applied Anthropology advises governments and agencies on instituting change in different cultures. Code of Ethics considers whether a project or planned change will eventually benefit the target population. However, the trade-off between economic gains and the loss of cultural identity and traditions is often very difficult to measure. Conclusion. Globalization is becoming inevitable in 21st century. Under this tendency, it is obvious for the importance that international business people tend to understand cross-culture impacts. Many notable companies like Nike have learned some from one clash after another with foreign cultures, but they are still likely beyond the goal global expansion. This means that they need to take more time in studying culture of the country they try to enter into and reach understanding of mutual cultural attitudes and values. There are many important reasons why to understand culture in doing international business. As to that understanding, culture helps marketing products and services, managing workforces, and dealing with host governments. In a word, doing business with multiple cultures can be a challenging venture. Hereby, the ability to adapt to an intercultural perspective is probably one of the most crucial aspects of doing business in today's global village.